Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice for Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at new decks coming around from Unbroken Bonds. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about the best cards, but now we need to talk about the best decks, because there are a whole bunch of decks coming out from the cards in Unbroken Bonds, about which you should frankly be rather excited. Now, I want to do a top 10, so let's just lump a couple in at 10, starting off with Muck and Alolan Muck and Malamar. Muck and Alolan Muck plays around with special conditions. It's a fun card, but the fact of the matter is, actually, it's a bit expensive. Malamar can help it. We could also look at Lucario and Melmetal here, which is a very nice card, just in terms of it reduces damage done to your metal Pokemon, it can do big damage, etc. And there's a million different ways to play it. It's fine, but it's not, I don't think, one of the very best decks coming out of the set. And we could also look at Honchkrow. Honchkrow, when it's active, stops your opponent playing special energy or tools or stadiums from their hand, and it's got a GX attack that can discard 2 cards from their hand. This is good, but when Reset Stamp comes out, which will allow you to put your opponent down to a hand size equal to their remaining prizes, it's going to be a lot better. So in at number 9, Greninja and Zoroark played with Incineroar. Now, this is the Incineroar, the second GX, the one from Team Up. So if we have a look at Zoroark and Greninja, what we see is a Tag Team GX has got a really interesting GX attack, which puts 2 of your Darkness Pokemon from your discard pile straight onto your bench. And then if you've got extra energy attached, so you do it for 2 energy, but if you've got 3 energy attached, then you can go ahead and attach 2 energy to each of those Pokemon. So you grab Incineroar, and then Incineroar's got an ability whereby you can put 3 damage counters on it, and then 3 energy from your deck, and all of a sudden you've got 10 energy on the field in one go. And then the main attack here, Darkness Colorless Energy, 30 damage, plus 30 more for each Darkness Energy attached to all of your Pokemon. The fact that it shares a weakness with Kyurem is very bad, because it means everyone's trying to hit that weakness at the moment, and it's just a little bit slower and a little bit less consistent than some of the other decks we've got at the moment, but it's still a decent deck that's seen some love. Incidentally, all of these decks have done well in Japan. I will pop links to videos in the description for all of these decks, so if you want to get a deck list for any of these decks, links in the description. In at number 8, we've got Salazzle and Unknown Hand. Now, Unknown Hand is that really cool one, whereby if you've got 35 cards in your hand, and you get Unknown Hand into the active, you win the game. Cool. How do you do that? There's many different things you do, but chief among them, the new Salazzle. The new Salazzle says once during your turn, you may discard a fire energy from your hand and draw 3 cards. Now, the fact that we're also getting Fire Crystal helps, because you discard the fire energy and then you immediately get it back again. And then, of course, near the end of the game, 2 of these can turn into 6 cards. That's plus 4. That's good. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, there's just an awful, awful lot to like about this. This is a deck I'm very excited to play, and when Reset Stamp comes out, this will be a terrible deck. But until Reset Stamp comes out, and you've got 3 months, this is going to be fun. In at number 7, we've got Quad, Buzzwole, and Pheromosa. Now, Buzzwole and Pheromosa is a very big, very hard-hitting deck. And what you do is you literally just play 4 of them. And then as soon as one goes down, then all of a sudden your opponent's got 3 prizes remaining, and you can start going nuts with stuff like Beast Ring. Don't forget you've got Beast Energy as well, and you've got Beast Bringer, which can help you take an extra prize the first time you take a KO. And then let's not forget that the first attack hits the bench as well, so you can potentially set up multiple KOs. And that if you KO a Pokemon with the GX attack, you take 1 more prize. In theory, if you've got 8 energy on there, you can take 4 prizes from 1 attack, because you take 3 extra, but that's not going to happen very often. You've got a lot of potential here. Biggest problem is we're getting Reshiram and Charizard, and as much as Quad, Buzzwole, and Pheromosa was very good in Japan before Reshiram and Charizard came out, since Reshiram and Charizard came out, it's terrible. In at number 6, we've got Kyurem. Kyurem's a very straightforward deck. You use Naganadel to attach energy to itself. You use Quagsire to move energy to your active Kyurem. And then every turn you hit for 110 damage and automatic paralysis. There we go. Post-rotation, switching options are going to be much worse with stuff like Guzma rotating out. But the fact of the matter is, this is a really, really good deck. And it's automatic paralysis every single turn. What more do you want? In at number 5, we've got PORYGON-Z stuff. This was played in a deck that played 7 different tag team GXs, which is a little bit over the top. And essentially what you do is you play a whole bunch of stuff like Rainbow Energy and Unit Energy, and you literally just sit there paying any energy cost you like. PORYGON-Z is allowing you to attach as many special energy during your turn as you like, and you just sit there being able to hit for any weakness, or with a variety of GX attacks, knowing that you can always just get the energy straight back on. Oh, what's that? You're using Ace Roller to pick up a Pokemon and all cards attached to it? Don't worry, because you can immediately reattach all the energy. I love this deck. In at number 4, Vikavolt Charger Bug. Charger Bug is a frankly broken card, and I say that in the most literal of senses, from Unbroken Bonds, ironically, whereby you can attach it from your hand to a Vikavolt or a Vikavolt GX as a double lightning energy. Thing is, it's a Pokemon until it's attached, so you can search it out with Ultra Ball. You can recover it with Rescue Stretcher, which is something that's very hard to do, that is recovering special energy. And then, of course, you've got the old Vikavolt, which is decent and accelerates extra energy from the deck. Or we've got Vikavolt GX, which can take out all the bench Pokemon that want to evolve. Because you do 60 to all the bench Pokemon. Yeah, that's pretty good. Because if your opponent's sitting there with a bunch of Zorua, they're all going down in a single hit. And then, of course, we've got the new Vikavolt, which has no weakness and can hit for 220. That's pretty gosh darn good. In at number 3, we've got Gardevoir and Sylveon. Gardevoir and Sylveon is one of the new tag team GXs coming out in Unbroken Bonds. And essentially, yes, the first attack gets energy on the field, and then you can use Energy Switch, as most of the decks do, to get this going by like turn 2. But really, you sit there and hit for 150 every turn. If you think you're about to be KO'd, you move all the energy, which you're allowed to do when you attack, and then you Ace Roller, so your opponent either doesn't take a KO or they don't get rid of the energy. Either way, you're winning. And then you take advantage of the GX attack, which shuffles your opponent's entire hand into their deck, which means they won't draw a Field Blower, or they're at least very unlikely to, which means you can start taking advantage of stuff like Fairy Charm UB, so that you are immune to Ultra Beasts, etc. This is a really good deck, and when you get the GX attack off, and the right Fairy Charm on, your opponent literally can't attack. But also, if you just keep moving energy and Ace Rollering, if your opponent can't one-hit KO, they can't KO. 150 every turn is fine, but this is a deck which is not expecting to give up many KOs, if any, and in that context, oh my goodness, this works. In at number 2, Zoroark Dewgong. Yeah, I know, right? Not the deck I expected when I first started looking through the set list. Fact of the matter is, this is the best Zoroark deck in Japan at the moment. You see, Dewgong, when you discard 2 energy attached to it, will happily just do 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And generally what you really want to do here is take out 2 evolving Pokemon. If you're against a Zoroark deck, you actually put your opponent in a position where they've got to bench 3 evolving Pokemon for the chance of evolving one next turn, because 2 of them are definitely going down. Zoroark is the same and as good as it's ever been. Dewgong is great, and especially when you add in triple acceleration energy to pay the attack cost in one go, yeah, there is a lot to like about this deck. But the very best deck coming out of Unbroken Bonds, as I'm sure most of you have already guessed, is Reshiram and Charizard. It's ridiculous. For 4 energy, it does 230 damage. For 3 energy, it does 200, but for 6 energy, it does 300 and goes through any effects on the defending Pokemon. Then you add in the fact that we're going to have Welder, which can attach an extra 2 energy from your hand while drawing 3 cards. Fire Crystal to get the energy out of your discard. We've already got Fiery Flint to get the energy out of our deck. We've got Salazzle coming along, which is a really good draw engine. And this deck just has everything it needs to absolutely crush. This is the best deck in Japan at the moment. They've got the same format as us, just a month or 2 ahead, depending on which set. It's a bit confusing. But at their biggest tournament recently that had 1,500 people, this was about 40% of the top cut. It is over the top, ladies and gentlemen. It is over the top. So there we go. Those are the best decks coming out of Unbroken Bonds, and I would very much like to know at this stage which decks you're looking forward to. Which decks coming Unbroken Bonds are you wanting to play? Which ones excite you? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.